evil! Stalagmite!
I thought you were going to wreck. I'm not nearly finished yet.
Then I'll provide assistance however I can.
Well, looky here!
Hey, didn't we find a recipe that...
Yeah, we can use this for it.
Right, here goes!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
I'm ready! Can you take it? You're mine!
If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay? The tide of battle has turned.
That's the power of comrades in arms.
Right. Comrades in arms. Seal! Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Our weapons are the sword and...
Fist and... staff. And you ruined it.
Hoo-hoo. Hoo! Hoo-hoo-hoo. Hoo! Maybe something's going on in the forest.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
I never miss!
Slash! This
I'll
one's
smash
all mine!
you!
Slash! Ha! Tempest!
Do it! Well,
Rising
we're
water!
on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me. Excited. I'm only getting started.
Mirage! Catapult! Slash!
Didn't even break a sweat.
There's something in the wall. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. Ha! Time to try a different spot. All right. That was disappointing. Where should I cast my line? Looks like I lost it. Ha! Reel it in. I'll get you next time. Yeah! There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Nice work!
Ha! There we go. Boy, that's a bit of a letdown.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something.
Yeah! All right. I'll get you next time. All right. We can get a good meal out of this fella.
That fish put up a fight. Good catch! I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us. Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Did we really just spend that much money? Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the men in...
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Glimmer Dragon! Swallow Blade! He got fire!
I've got this! Little marksman handle it!
All yours!
Take this!
Mirage!
On the wall now! By the power of
Swallow
water!
Blade! I'll take you all off!
Resonate with the earth!
Mirage!
Mega ray! Do it!
Negative...
I'm ready for the next battle.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my arc! When he slows down, that's our chance! No
It's
further!
like trying to keep up with a wolf!
Mirage!
Hurricane!
Rising Wyvern!
Drop some pain.
Lunar blessing!
Rising Wyvern!
Prepare to be seized by fleet of foot. Actually, sound is more appropriate.
Let's talking more duels!
Take this!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Now we're not... No further!
Talon Storm! Rising Wyvern!
Elusive
Mirage!
You require
On a roll now!
in a bind?
Rising Wyvern!
Does it hurt?
Mirage! Swallow Blade! Prepare to be seized!
Here I go!
Talon Hurricane!
Mega ray!
Rising Wyvern!
Take
Amazing.
this! Can't get out of this!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Watch this!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Rising Wyvern! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guards.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
You can't get out of this!
Mirage!
Dragon show!
Rising Wyvern!
Glacial Spear!
Mirage!
Where's the evil?
Swallow Blade!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Flying tree! What do you think? Just sit still!
It would appear I
Can you
attract
take
too
care
much
of them?
attention.
No sooner said than done.
Rising Wyvern! We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Burn! Not so fast!
Burning strike!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this. So hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run up and down these slopes all... the time for our training exercises.
Brace yourself! This one's tough!
Armor won't save you!
Swallow Blade! Slide!
By the power Far enough! It's a duel of the arc! If it's in the sky, I'll end you! This one's mine!
That's the airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
I'm ready! All yours, Kisara. Stay calm. I shall provide assistance. No further. I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Watch and
Swallow blade! You picked the wrong fight!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this. More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Rising Viper! Mirage!
Glacial Spear!
Swallow
Here's
blade!
evil!
Slash!
Freeze Blade!
Rising Viper! Swallow blade! Slash!
An admirable display of force.
An admiral? I can't even swim.
Never mind.
We're thinning them out!
More like me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slightly.
Astro
That's my cue!
Blow away! Shut him down!
There's always room for improvement.
I sure have built up a sweat with this.
Oh man, I hope I live
You
long
picked the
enough
wrong
to regret
fight.
it.
This one's mine!
Swallow blade! Slash! Swallow blade!
Help it! Steering flame!
Swallow
Reload!
blade! Come one, come all!
Lightning!
This time!
Steering flame!
Rising Viper! Burn in hell! Mirage! We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left!
Right. There's no time to hold back. Onward and upward.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right?
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldomenencia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially... I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term. But you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag-Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already. I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you? Swallow Blade! Eat this! Mirage! Hurricane!
It's in the sky, it's one.
No! Take it! Can't end here!
I couldn't
Who
make
the
it in
hell are
time.
you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a sword?
Negative! Resonate with the earth!
Mirage!
Stalagmite!
Swallow Blade! First strike! Mirage!
Glacial spear. Pierce Evo.
Enjoy. Begin!
Freeze Lantern.
Lift up! I'm Rising Wyvern! You're done! Mirage! Take this! Freaking
Don't mind if I do.
Dragon Shout!
Glacial spear. Pierce Evo.
Strike! Catapult! Hurricane! Mirage! Come on! Rising Wyvern!
Resonate with the
Leave that torch to me! By the power of water! Rip its tail! Annihilation! Back into the fray!
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought you
I'm
were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey,